Recording progress.
Good evening. Welcome. Shanti, how is everyone?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Good morning. Good evening.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
I think it's almost Amritvela time there in India, right? We just finished. It's close to 4:45 there, right?
Right. Yeah, that's right.
So today we thought to discuss on this subject of the science of Amritvela. Does everyone know Amritvela? Amritvela, right? So it's Hindi word. Amrit means nectar. What is a nectar? Pure and sweet. What else? What is nectar? What is the importance of nectar? You know, they say that there was a fight between deities and devils, and there was a, Samudra Manthan, you know, and then on one side, so they were churning the ocean. And at the beginning, poison came, and a lot of other things came, but towards the end came the nectar. So nectar is Amrit. So whoever drinks Amrit becomes immortal. That's the concept of nectar. तो अगर अमृत पिएंगे तो कभी मरेंगे नहीं, we won't die. So it's Amrit Vela. Vela means time, duration. So that duration of the day when we can actually taste the real nectar. The real nectar actually is the nectar of God's love. And when the soul tastes it, the soul feels immortal. Throughout the day, we are in the body, we are concerned about tasks and things, situations all around the body. And during that, during the day, it is not often very easy to experience this, eternal stage of the soul. And that's why, Amritvela is the time. And we say, in terms of physical clock, the time between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. is Amritvela. And if we meditate at that time, then with a very little effort, we're able to gain significant benefits. Yes, it's also called Brahma Muhurt, correct. Yes. So again, Brahma Muhurt is, like the period of the day where we can experience God. Right. Right. So we all do Amritvela. We all know the importance of Amritvela. I was listening to a senior sister, and she had the ability to go into trance. A trance is a state where a soul can get some messages from God. And then she was saying that once she was pulled into trance during Amritvela, and Baba was showing how many were actually doing Amritvela properly. So one is to do Amritvela properly. आई सबको हिंदी में यही है कि एक बार अपनी चंद्रिका दीदी हैं अहमदाबाद में, वो बताते थे कि उनको बाबा ने पुल किया सुबह सुबह दिखाने के लिए कि कितने भाई बहनें ठीक तरह से अमृतवेला कर रहे हैं, है ना. तो डू यू नो हाउ मेनी वर देयर? एनी गेसेस फ्रॉम द एंटायर वर्ल्ड? हाउ मेनी वर देयर who are doing it properly? Thousands. Good. What else? So the answer is, she said, only 13. 1 3.
Wow.
Only 13.
Is it in the Brahma Kumari organization or?
Yeah. Yeah, Brahma Kumaris. Within Brahma Kumaris, yes. So even within Brahma Kumaris, we have like close to more than 1,000,000 followers, right? But it's like only 13 were doing it properly. And so Baba was saying that, tell children that, even though you feel you are doing Amritvela, but actually you're not doing properly. If you do properly, then, a lot of effort, will be very simplified. Yeah. Sometimes this whole journey is the journey to be soul conscious, right? And one is soul consciousness is to understand what is soul consciousness, to, even have points on it, to discuss it, to experiment with it during the day, which is good and important. But the other is to actually experience the soul beyond the body completely. And that experience actually happens not so much through the conscious mind. It's more from the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is awake or is accessible at Amritvela. And
Can it happen during sleep as well?
during sleep,
The subconscious mind is active during that time.
yeah. But then we have to program it. So we still need a conscious mind in order to program the subconscious mind, right? So the subconscious mind is accessible, but we still need to program it. So we need to be awake at that time. Yeah. So we need to be awake and sit properly in yoga, and we'll discuss a little bit about that aspect. But just the importance of that time. So, it is that time when something shifts in the energy of the body. Just like we have an external clock, we all know that we have a biological clock, which is inside the brain, right? And that is the time when, the body is also preparing itself for the next day. And so that's actually the best time to meditate. And not only the body, but even the nature is at its purest at that time. So once we are able to tap into, really then what happens is the body is helping me to become soul conscious. And the nature surroundings, everything is helping me to become soul conscious and to remember God. And so once I just tap into that or align myself to that flow of, the energy of life, then it's very easy to experience, to create experience at Amritvela. So let's first just look at a little bit of science behind this. And I don't know if many of you may know that all the successful people, they say all the millionaires or billionaires, they all have the habit of waking up at 4 a.m. All of them, mostly. So what happens exactly at that time? Let's try and understand.
Why are successful people waking up at 4 a.m. and not a different hour? What is the secret behind it? Well, they know how their brain works, and they take advantage of their brainwave states and brain chemistry. The brain produces electrical patterns, often referred to as waves. When you're first awake, your brain operates at around 10.5 waves per second. The range from 8 to 13 hertz or cycles per second is the alpha stage. It's been called the gateway to the subconscious mind. But when you wake up this early, you are between theta and alpha. The mind is capable of deep and profound learning, being fully aware and focused with an effortlessly calm mind. In other words, you don't have to work as hard. You are not thinking. You just relax into the moment. Another important fact, known by all successful people, is when you wake up, your subconscious mind is most impressionable and soaks up information like a sponge. Whatever you hear, see, or are exposed to in the first 20 minutes will affect you and set the tone for the rest of your day. This is why they meditate, listen to affirmations, and not checking their social media and emails so early. They choose consciously their tone of the day, being focused and positive and not being distracted. They choose to go to bed early and use the premature hours of each day in their own advantage. They make up a routine of waking up before the sun starts to shine and go to sleep after the sun goes down. Why do they go to bed so early? Between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. is where you can get the most from regenerative and deep sleep. After 2 a.m., sleep lacks the quality that you need as it becomes more superficial, chronically depriving your body of the regenerative sleep which you can enjoy between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. makes you wake up in the morning even more tired than when you went to bed. The human body is closely linked to the day and night cycle. That is why, within 1 or 2 hours after sunset, your melatonin levels start to rise. This is how your body's telling you that it's time to go to bed. At midnight, melatonin levels reach their highest value, and after this, they start decreasing gradually. 10 p.m. is when your body reacts as a result of the increment in the melatonin levels. This period of transformation in your sleep cycle brings along a more intense metabolic activity. This one is responsible for the repair and restoration of the whole body. In order for this 10 p.m. reaction to take place, your body needs to slow down, which translates into reduction of your mental and physical activity. If you're still awake, there is a phenomena that takes place at this hour called second wind. This is caused by the rise in mental activity and energy that your system has at 10 p.m. Nevertheless, you can only feel what the second wind's value is truly about if you are asleep at 10 p.m. Studies show that if you go past the 10 p.m. bedtime, you'll find it more difficult to fall asleep. Also, you won't be able to enjoy refreshing sleep, which will lead to significant weariness in the morning. Small things matter, so even the simple shift in your bedtime hour from 11 p.m. to 10 p.m. can make a huge difference regarding the quality of your sleep. Moreover, there are high chances that you'll wake up in the morning feeling energized and ready to start the day. This happens because you allow your system to go through its natural neurochemistry and you take advantage of this wave that it's on its way before 10 p.m. Moreover, your body also benefits from the metabolic changes that naturally take place as the clock ticks 10 p.m. If you are among those that usually fall asleep well past 10 p.m., you should consider changing the situation. Set up a goal to go to bed earlier by 15 to 30 minutes each week until you hit 10 p.m. bedtime goal. Early risers like Apple CEO Tim Cook, Oprah Winfrey, and Dwayne Johnson choose to greet the day at the crack of dawn because that's where motivation is created, and they don't need to ask for it. That silence of early morning hours is what helps them use their potential to the maximum. Successful people choose to use every minute available in a day because their life's purpose is higher than any other short-term pleasure or comfortable bed mattress. They instill this habit of waking up early in their DNA because they understand how a strong and consistent routine can support a successful life. The human brain can work at its maximum potential when it doesn't have to multitask. The quality level of work is highly dependent on the level of focus. When there are no distractions and noises to disturb concentration, the brain has a great capacity to focus on certain tasks and thus generate a balanced rate between quality and work. Successful people are aware of this and they use their alone time in the early morning to take full advantage of their brain's functioning capacity. High achievers understand that premature hours of the day allow them to make better decisions as their energy levels are at their peak. Those who live a grand life understand that early morning willpower helps them to achieve high levels of discipline. A disciplined morning guides them towards a whole day of discipline, and this is exactly what supports their successful life. The peaceful and quiet time you get before the sun rises creates the environment you need in order to take care of yourself, which doesn't happen too often during the day. It's the me time that allows you to provide yourself with everything you need in order to successfully go through the day. As soon as the alarm goes off, you're facing a bump in the road, and it's up to you to get over it or not. It's up to you to decide whether you use your time in your advantage or not. When everybody else is still dreaming and sleeping in their comfortable beds, it's your time to shine. It's your time to get out of your comfortable zone and have that well-deserved breakthrough. The early morning hours are moments where you can be ahead of things without being distracted. It's a time where you can focus and pay attention to what really matters. It's a time where you can go past those old and narrow-minded thoughts that stopped you from getting the real taste of what this life can truly be. It is all on you, and you decide how to spend your life. You decide when your day starts.
Very nice.
I think most of us are aware of this, but still it's good to revise and know that it is a natural cycle of the body, and the body rests the best between 10 and 2 in the night. And so if you're able to do that, like it said, the body releases melatonin at around 10 in the night as an indicator that it's time to go to bed. And after 2 a.m., anyways, the quality of sleep is not very deep. It's mostly like a dream state, which means that the body is also, preparing itself to get up. And so once we are able to just adhere to this normal, sleeping and waking up time, then we'll be able to make the best use of early morning hours, Amritvela. Right. And, if we really think about it, what exactly, we should do at Amritvela. And what factors help us to have a good Amritvela, and why sometimes we don't have good Amritvela. So what are those factors? Let's maybe try and look into. Okay. So let's first discuss about this. It's the right way to do Amritvela. What is the right way to do Amritvela? What is the right way to meditate? Because we are all on this path of meditation. So what is the right way to meditate? It's very important to make it very crystal clear in our minds. What is the right way to meditate? So everyone can chime in and share what is the right way to meditate at Amritvela.
Starting with bathing and then
Right.
the meditation.
Yeah, getting fresh and then coming.
I think somebody is at 4 and starts all the bathing and everything. It will take almost more than 30-40 minutes. So only 20 minutes or so will be left for meditation.
Right. So if we wake up a little late, then maybe we can just wash our face and get ready in 5-10 minutes, and then we can sit and then freshen up properly after 5. Yeah. But then the ideal time to get up really is around 3:30. We say in the morning is the best time, because then we have half an hour to get ready, freshen up, and then have our fixed place in our home for meditation. And we should go and sit there properly with full attention. Right. What else? Where do we start? Where do we start, Amritvela? At what time do we start?
होने से पहले से ही हमारा अमृतवेला शुरू होता है actually, जब बेड पे जाते हैं तभी। वैसे तो पूरा दिन होता है, पर कल सुबह की तैयारी के लिए हमें आज रात को ही तैयारी करनी पड़ती है। पहली बात तो पूरा अपने सिर के ऊपर जो भी बोझा है वो सब बाबा को देना सोने के समय पे, एक बात। दूसरी बात, कल सुबह के लिए मैं उठ करके मेरे पास चिंतन करने का क्या चीज रहेगा उसकी एक थोड़ी छोटी सी होमवर्क करेंगे अपने साथ ही, तो इजी रहेगा सुबह के लिए। और जब हमारे आंखें खुले तब बाबा को गुड मॉर्निंग करें। उससे पहले भी पहले अपने को, बाबा हमेशा कहते हैं ना कि अपने को आत्मा समझो, तो मैं कौन, मैं अवतरित आत्मा हूँ अभी इस शरीर में, या तो मेहमान हूँ या अवतरित हूँ, समान तो बहुत सारी है। उसके साथ ही फिर हम थोड़ा सा सब बाबा को गुड मॉर्निंग करें। उसके बाद अगर आपको कुछ और भी चीजें लेनी है तो अफर्मेशंस लेते रहो, अपने आप को रिमाइंड कराओ कितने सारी खुशी की, भाग्य की, बहुत सारी चीजें बाबा कहता रहता है। और अपने आप को वो चीज दिलाओ, उमंग उत्साह दिलाते हैं, तो फिर हमारा बुद्धि थोड़ा सा ओपन होता है। और हम कहाँ से आए हैं, हम बनने क्या वाले हैं, जैसे अभी हमने फरिश्ता स्वरूप का जो अनुभव किया पूरा महीना, वो भी अपने सामने लाए, वो दृश्य जब हम जगते हैं बाबा को गुड मॉर्निंग करने के बाद। ये इनिशियल स्टेप्स होते हैं। That's what I do.
Right. Good. Nice. Right. So even before, we're going to bed, just mentally to be ready that this is what I'm looking forward to in the Amritvela tomorrow. And it's also important to just clean the mind of whatever has happened in the day. And then the moment I get up, that is the moment where the first thought we create, that I, the soul, the point of light, I have entered this physical body. I have incarnated as if I'm just coming down from there into this body. Because this thought is so important, because that's the reality, that's the truth, that we souls really have incarnated. And that's the first program that we are giving to our subconscious mind. It's not, I, Saurabh, I'm trying to now meditate, trying to create an experience. No. It's I, the being, the point of light, who have entered this costume, this physical body, in order to play my role. And so these few thoughts at Amritvela, they give a good programming. So that's the first thought. And then the second thought is, so as we get up, so that's the first thought. I have incarnated into this body, and just for a minute, maybe I just stay with that thought, still, on the bed, but still with that thought, I get up, and then gently I, say good morning to God. Say good morning, God. So the first thought I have is that good morning, God.
Thanks for the new day.
Thanks for the new day. So these are very subtle. These things just takes a few seconds, but it actually sets the tone for the entire day. And it actually goes into the subconscious programming. Because then the very first thought we get when we do anything is first God. Thank you, God. It's like first our attention goes to God. We say, okay, good morning, God. Thank you for the day, and I'm looking forward to meeting you now. Because Amritvela is really the time of meeting God. Paramatma Milan ka time hai. It's like meeting time, meeting with God. And then I get up, and then, I'm getting ready, freshening up. With that also, the consciousness, because what happens is, if we just let our mind loose, then very easily it will go into yesterday, or I have to do this today. Because at that time, again, the subconscious mind is very impressionable. So it's important to then program. And the program is that, okay, now I'm, cleaning the temple of the body. This body is like the temple. I'm preparing it so that I, the soul, the idol, can then sit inside the temple. It's just we are doing the same thing physically, but that's how we are actually changing our programming, where the soul is now gently taking over, the body. And then we get up, and then we are fresh, we are ready, and then we sit. We have a proper place in our home. If we can come to the center, that is the best time to meditate. Or if we are, in a retreat center, that's also there. But if we are not able to come, then even in our home, we can. And then here also we have Zoom, we can connect if possible. But then it's important to have a dedicated place in our home, which we say as a meditation corner. And then it's good to have, fresh clothes, and then so all this we can do it yesterday, like the night before. And then we sit properly, and then we have a point of light or something to just focus on, right? And then the first thought we create is, I have come to celebrate a meeting with God. We call God as Baba, but I've come to celebrate a meeting with Baba. And a meeting time is really, I don't need to think too much, plan too much, but I'm just open to, meeting the eternal companion of the soul, that is God, right? And so, so that's how I begin, the Amritvela. And then suppose if some thoughts come, and then they take the mind, they distract the mind to some other direction, then the good way to, then bring it back is to then reflect on Gyan, knowledge of the soul, knowledge of the home of the soul, knowledge of God, who God is, my relationship with God. So that's called, we can say, reflection or churning of knowledge. So that allows the soul not to go into the side tracks of the drama, but very easily come back, to the truth. तो कई बार बाबा कहते हैं कि सुबह उठकर अपने आप से बातें करो. It's like you talk to yourself. I remind myself who I really am. And then slowly these thoughts will allow the soul to then focus on the truth. And then we slowly, when all the thoughts around the story, around the drama have subsided, then it's like the presence of the divine, the source, God, it becomes very real. We, in our spiritual life, we make a lot of effort, and then we try so hard. But actually, if we just focus on maximizing or making the best use of these few hours early in the day, then everything else automatically gets sorted out. And so then when all the thoughts have subsided, it's then the presence of the divine then will take over. And then the soul will feel like a heart-to-heart conversation with the divine. And then the soul will feel completely beyond this drama world. And then the soul will feel rested and comforted in the company of the divine. And that's about it. That's so simple. So the little attention on the first few minutes of getting up, and then just I'm reflecting on the truth and experiencing the company of the divine, and that's it. That's all I have to do. And everything else. And suppose if still it's not happening, then maybe I can read a paragraph from the Murli to again, reprogram the mind. Right? Right. So that's what we have to do at Amritvela. I know most of us do this, but it's good to always revise and discuss together.
एक और चीज भी होती है ना भाई जी, कि हम कभी कभी, हमेशा तो नहीं रहेगी, डिपेंड करता है कि हमारा पहले दिन का मूड कैसा रहेगा, कितना हम बाबा को दे पाते हैं, कितना अपने पास लेके रह जाता है। वो कहीं ना कहीं ट्रस्ट तो रह ही जाता है। अब कुछ ना कुछ, या कोई स्ट्रॉन्ग चीज कुछ ऐसी हो रखी होती है तो बुद्धि वो होल्ड करके रख देता है, देने के बावजूद भी बाबा इतना हल्का करता है। फिर भी जब हम उठते हैं, अगर टाइम वो इन बिटवीन कि बेड से जब हम इवन नेचर को भी थैंक यू बोल करके अगर निकलते हैं वहां से, और कंटिन्यूसली या सोमान की चर्निंग या बाबा की कोई कही हुई मुरली का चर्निंग हो, बुद्धि में कोई भी आया हो ज्ञान की चीजें, अगर वो निरंतर कंटिन्यूसली अपनी बुद्धि में चलाते रहे, तो फिर कोई भी बाहरी चीज इन बिटवीन, हम जब तक बैठे तब तक की भी, जब हम नहाने जाते हैं उधर जाते हैं, बुद्धि तो कहीं ना कहीं तो अटकी रहती है, चली जाती है। उस चीज के लिए भी थोड़ा हेल्प करता है अगर हम निरंतर कोई कहीं अफर्मेशन हो, सोमान कोई भी लो, या उसी को कंटिन्यूसली बोलो कि क्यों, उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा चिंतन करो, करते करते भी। अगर हमारा कोई दूसरा प्लान नहीं बनाया हुआ है, बनाते हैं लिस्ट प्लान के कार्य के हिसाब से, तो फिर वो तो अलग बात है। अदरवाइज कभी कभी वहां पे डिस्ट्रैक्ट हो जाते हैं, जब तक बैठ पाते हैं तब तक बुद्धि फिर और दूसरी तरफ चली जाती है। सो ये भी एक तरीका होता है कि हम निरंतर उस स्थिति में रहे, ताकि हम बाबा से अच्छे से वो बात भी कर सके और अपनी स्थिति को बना सके। एक अनुभव की।
Thank you. Sure. There is a Japanese term, I don't know if you have heard about it. It's called ikigai. Have you heard about it? Have you heard? Ikigai. So it's a very interesting term. They say, what wakes you up in the morning? What is the purpose of your life? What wakes you up in the morning? And if you live your life true to that purpose, that's called ikigai. So let's watch a little video about that. What wakes us up in the morning?
沖縄には生きがいという言葉があります。毎朝起きる原動力を与えてくれるものだと思います。
目覚まし本当に遠くに投げ捨てようかなと思う時もあるんだけど、我慢して自分のお尻に鞭を打って起きて走りに行きます。
踊りの龍舞道場に通っている生徒たちの成長を見るため。
そうですね、私の生きがいは、いつも馬に会いに行くために、仕事をしに行きながら、責任を持って人と馬とも接していっていますね。
お客さんがね、喜んでもらえたら一番嬉しいんだけど、
いや、自分には兄弟もいないし、この孫たちがたくさんいて、たまには孫たちが寄ってくるさね。もう本当これが生きがいである。
世界チャンピオンになりたいんだって、俺はなるんだって、家族のために、チームのために、自分自身のために いうことが生きがいですね。
家族があったり友達がいたりいて、みんなに助けられてこいつのために助けたいとか、それを苦にも思わずできたり、仕事も目標があってそれに対しての勉強や努力は全然疲れない、苦にならない現状のことじゃないですかね。一日楽しむために起きてます。沖縄では、ハッピー毎日が、幸せであればそれで生きがい。
So in Japan, there is a province called Okinawa, where the average age is more than 80-90 years, and many people live beyond 100 years. And the reason they are able to do that, they say, is ikigai. They all have a reason to wake up every morning. And then just in the same way, in our spiritual life, if we have a reason to wake up, and we can understand it with this little diagram. So if we see this, it has 4 circles. The circle on the top is what you love. What you love. And then is what you are good at. Then what you can be paid for. And then what the world needs. Right? It's what you love is your passion. What you are good at is your profession. What you can be paid for is your vocation. And what the world needs is your mission. And this ikigai is a combination of all 4. When all 4 combine together, then that is what creates the purpose, the real purpose. And if you see, it's very interesting, like these 3 or 4 parts where one is missing. For example, if we look at this one, this circle is missing, right? We have this one, and this one. So if you are in this state, means delight and fullness, but no wealth. I don't feel abundant because I cannot be paid for it, right? For example, this particular circle, we are not, there is no mission. So then there is satisfaction, but feeling of uselessness. What use is it for, right? And then in this one, there is no passion. So comfortable, but feeling of emptiness, right? And in this one, there is no, we say what you get at profession. So excitement and complacency, but sense of uncertainty. Right. So, and the intersection of all 4 is ikigai. So what it really means is, if I look at these 4, ways, do I really love to get up to meet God at Amritvela? Is it something that I really love? Or is it I'm just doing because I have to, or, do I really have love for God, for example? I should talk to myself in that way. Because if I have love, true love, then I would do anything to meet God. If I really love someone, I'll do anything to meet them. And early morning is the best time to meet God. So why wouldn't I get up? I will, right? And then what you are good at. Am I really good at meditation? Am I not? If I'm not, then let me train myself. Let me become good at it. So if I'm not having good Amritvela, maybe one of these 4 is missing, right? So then let me be good at it. Let me try and understand how to meditate, what thoughts to create, what thoughts to avoid. It's very easy. It's very simple. There's no rocket science, it's very easy. Anyone can meditate. It's as simple as that. What you can be paid for. Do I realize that it's my true spiritual income? It's the time for me to become a millionaire internally, right? Because all the other wealth, we can't take it with us. It's gonna be left behind the moment we leave the body. The true spiritual income is what actually we will take with us. And that income can only be earned at Amritvela. So if I tell myself that's actually so important, because whenever, we will think twice taking paid time off, right? We'll say, okay, why should I not get paid, right? And so that has to be very clear understanding that this is for my selfish interest, that I have to earn a spiritual income. And what is the spiritual income? This peace, love, and happiness. This is spiritual income, right? I'm sitting here to earn that. And then fourth, what the world needs. Isn't it what the world needs? Our vibrations of silence, our yoga power. Isn't it how we can help the world? We all know what is going on in the world and we all want to help, but we cannot physically help everyone, right? All we can do is, send our, thoughts of good wishes and sakash. But how can we do if we don't get up at Amritvela? We cannot. We can only think about it or talk about it, but we cannot do anything. And so really felt it's very interesting, this concept, once we realize, do I really love? Is there passion? Is there profession, vocation, mission? If I have these four, then there is no way I cannot get up and have a good, time, at Amritvela. I will. Mhm. Mm. Yeah. Because otherwise, in a way, I'll be deceiving myself, creating excuses for myself. Isn't it? कई बार होते हैं ना, छोटे बच्चे होते हैं, पेरेंट्स से get up, you have to go to school. They say, no, I have headache. No, I have, my something is hurting, I cannot get up. But when the parents say, oh, realize you have to go to school, you have to learn something, you have to become a good person. How can you do all that if you're just sleeping? Right? Right. Mm. Does it make sense to everyone? This Ikigai concept. Mm. And that's where we see, like, all our seniors, even if they would have a busy day or, they would sleep late or whatever, there could be days like that. No? But they would never compromise on their morning time. Amritvela. And also Amritvela, what it does is, like a lot of time when after Amritvela, a lot of touchings will come. Like deep touchings will come. Do this, don't do this. This is how it should be. This is not how it should be. And that's how we can really, align ourselves with the directions coming from the divine. It's really a superpower of sorts that develops it if we really, utilize this time well. Mhm. And there is a book called, I think it's a book or something, Awakening the Giant Within. It's all about programming your subconscious mind.
I heard the 4 a.m. club, something
4
like
a.m.
that
club.
about it.
Ah,
My sister likes to read a lot of books, so she
Mm.
told me about it.
4 a.m. club, right?
So ideal sleep is like 7 hours.
Huh?
Ideal sleep hours is 7.
Ideal sleep is, somewhere between 6 to 7 hours. is an ideal sleep time. Yeah. And if you're able to, take a little power nap in the afternoon, hour, half an hour, an hour, that's also very good. Even if we are, let's say, sleeping, not able to sleep for 6 hours in the night, then a little power nap helps too. Yeah. But proper sleep is also very important.
All religions talk about Amritvela.
Amritvela, yes.
I remember when I was kid at the time, I think somebody told me that if you wake up at 4, take a bath, wear clean clothes and do jap for like I think some numbers 108 or something. Then just do it for 1.5 months, and whatever you wish come true.
Come true, yes.
So it's just like people say. So there is importance of this meditation and doing job. I think in every place.
Right. Yeah. It's good to experiment. Generally, that's what people say. It's 21 days is a good time to experiment with this, like a particular, maybe thought or, with Amritvela, just to make it a habit, for 21 days when we do, then it becomes,
The first is like in my case, I wake up between 6 to 7. So even waking up at 4 have to be a practice.
Practice, right? Yeah, right.
But like you said that if we love something, we'll do anything to do that, right?
Right. Yeah. So somewhere, we have to deeply check inside. Right. Really feel spiritual effort, making this effort is rather easy. It's not very, it's, anyways, we get up a little early, that's it, right? And it's always, it's good for everyone, right? So
it's in our hands.
Yeah,
we can do it.
Exactly. Yeah. But again, one thing that also I feel is important to realize, because sometimes there is subtle expectation we can create of having a good Amritvela. Let's say I sat, but I'm not having good experience. My mind is rushing everywhere and I'm not able to focus. And then I'm like, oh, I did all this effort, but I'm not able to have good Amritvela, right? But it's important to realize that, not every day will be the same, and not to get hooked on to or expect to have experience every day. That's also important. Yeah. What's more important is to realize the truth, come back again and again to the truth of, again, the foundation courses. Who am I? Where I've come from? Why am I here? Who do I belong to? The more I revise that internally and create that perspective to see everything in my life. So that's the real purpose, because there will be days when we won't have good experiences. And it's always like that. Sure. Any other thoughts anyone would like to add, share?
No question.
Yes.
What are the practices that are not good or correct
Mm.
to avoid living?
Mm. What should we avoid doing it, Amritvela? Yeah. I think
As you
one.
were saying earlier, that
Correct.
it's
Yes.
just not up to it.
Correct. Yes.
Can you
True.
understand?
Yeah. Because sometimes we may be uh, under the influence of yesterday's day, and we might be under the influence of sleep. That is one. The other is like 13 really had good Amritvela, means they were actually able to connect to God properly. Others were trying to, but were not. So they could be, somewhere lost in some other thoughts, but not able to focus on God properly. Because if I don't focus, how can I receive His energy? And so only those certain numbers were able to focus properly, right? Mhm. Mhm.
Have you experienced? I mean, this.
I try to. Of course, there are days when there are good experiences. There are days when there are not so good experiences. It's always like that. Yeah.
You feel energized?
Yes. Yes. It does. It does help. Yeah.
You have to distinguish between a good Amritvela and a not so good.
Yeah. Right. So in a good Amritvela, it's like the soul just feels, the presence of God in a very real way. As if, you're really, meeting God. The other days, it could be just, you're trying to connect. Sometimes you're able to, sometimes not, but then still there is a feeling that, maybe a lot of time was spent in, maybe processing some thoughts. That's about it. But that's fine too, because then that's how we learn. Okay. How do I process? How do I take care of these thoughts like that? Mhm.
Connecting is through the feelings, right? I mean, I do sometimes I still not know this is the correct way. So during the close your eyes and just think that you are first your soul goes out of the world and then sitting in the presence of a God, and then just feel that you've surrendered to. It's just feelings. Is that right way? Is it what is the right way to feel it? Because I'm generating thoughts and I'm feeling it. So do you think that is the right way?
Yeah, so we start with some, it's good to have we start with a little song and then a little commentary. Commentary is like just to ground ourselves that, I am a soul, I've come and now I'm going like that. And then there's some time of, silent reflection. And that's where we can just, create these thoughts and, when the mind goes, it's diverted, gently to bring it back,
So
to the
God's
realization.
feelings is the connectivity with the God, right? Because whatever thoughts will come,
Correct.
when nothing else will come,
Yeah.
that could be it, right?
Right.
Because
Yes.
we can, it's on us how we feel, right? Even to feel connected with the God and their presence is not easy.
Correct.
Right.
Right. So Amritvela is a time when it's like God takes over. Like we don't have to make that much effort. It's like God is there to help the soul. Like
And just surrender.
Yeah, just surrender.
And be silent.
Be silent. Yeah.
But if we are silent and not thinking and trying to avoid the thoughts, then all different kind of thoughts can come.
Yes.
Then what to do?
And that's where like the practice of soul consciousness helps. That have incarnated, and these thoughts will help calm the mind. Really. Yeah.
So unrelated to this, Amritvela, what we talk about here is the about mental peace and like how to be a better person. What about if somebody is dealing with a physical injury or physical pain, like in my case, I have shoulder problems. So how does, is there any discussion on this as well?
Yeah. So generally, yeah, we don't have much on physical asanas or yoga, but when the mind is silent, then automatically, we're able to, it helps the body in that way. Not directly, we are not learning a lot of asanas here, although it is good to practice and exercise, and all that is important too.
I meant in a spiritual way itself.
Yeah.
Like in a spiritual way, you're surrounding yourself with God and telling the God that this is the body, this is the body you have given us in the soul, and it's experiencing some pain.
Right.
So, right.
So one practice that we generally, do in such cases is like, once I have connected to God in meditation, then just to have this, create this thought or a vision that God's light, God's energy is coming and entering that part of the body wherever it needs to be healed. And that allows, really a very beautiful flow of energy to go there. Yeah.
Like Sister Shivani, I was watching one of her video where she said, write everything what you want to happen, that it has already happened. And every day, I think morning and before you sleep, write it on a notebook that I'm already this, I'm already feeling okay, I'm already. So just write it and it will happen.
Yes.
Because it's like a manifestation you're
Yes.
doing.
Yes. Right. Acha, great. Any other thoughts?
Do you want to send me
Shanti,
screenshot of
Saurabh.
this?
Om Shanti, Harshbhai.
Yeah. So just wanted to know, what would be your um, advice, in summary, how would you say that that we can practice, to have that exuberant and exhilarating experience altogether during Amritvela. So that's what we would like to know.
Sure. Yeah. Again, it's rather simple. It's very simple. I think, I feel a few things that this, am I really motivated? That's first thing I have to tell myself. What motivates me to wake up? So I have to convince myself I'm doing it for myself, and this is important. And then next is I need to, then be able to reflect on Baba's Gyan and to allow the waste thoughts or any other ordinary thoughts to just, go away. And then to have the deep love, to create that feelings of deep love, and, just like in any engine, for example, there is an optimal injection time or an optimal ignition time. You have to actually ignite it at a particular time for it to, create the maximum power. If you ignite it way early or way later, the mixture won't, combust properly. In the same way, Amritvela is like that optimum ignition timing. As the mixture is like throughout the day, of course, we are, trying to churn gyan and things. But then at that time, we just ignite it, and then the power is released. And then throughout the day, we just use that power. And just like we all know, right? There's compression and, power stroke, and then, like that. So that's where, like, Amritvela is that little time where the energy in the soul is getting released, by connecting with God. And then throughout the day, it will be as if waste thoughts, they just evaporate. Like no waste thought will come. And then we can easily focus on what we have to do and get it done, like that. And so, yeah, I don't know if that answers Sarshbhai, your question, but yeah, those are some of the. Yeah.
So in nutshell, like we it's first of all, it's a process, right? And it's not a one-day task that we will have that experience. And I think, like, I also feel like it's a package, right, of all the four subjects that we also have to the other three subjects also we have to have that together playing, during that time, so that we can have the best of the experiences. Like you said, we also have to go in that Swaman stage also, at times, and also take some points from the Murli to have that experience, that intimate experience with Baba. So I sometimes feel, and also like experiences through actually doing what's been asked, for us through Baba's words. If we put that into action, then we have an experience, and that experience also creates an intimacy between between that time between us, and Baba. So yeah, I feel like it's a complete package that fruitile at that point in time. But then again, to have that in totality, it takes a little patience, and focus on knowledge, and churning to get the best experience that we can that we that we want during that time. So that's what I feel.
Right. Very good. Yes. Thank you. Right. Acha. So thank you. Thank you for your time and connecting today. Acha. So if Rajesh Ben or Naresh Bhai are there, you can start the class.
Shanti.
Om Shanti.